Kia ora, morena.
Morena, kia ora, tēnā koutou, e te wānau. Koutou e mātakitaki nei tēnei pāpāhutanga mata ora I tēnei ata. Tēnei rā nui o tātou o te motu nei a rā ko te rutikau mā wari o ke tupa, te rā o te wakaputanga. Nō reira ka tika tuatahi ake kia tuku I ngā maharatanga ki rātou o tātou tūpuna. Mō tēnei rā nui me ki te rā o te wakaputanga. Ka tuku hoki I ngā whakaaro ki ngā mate ua o te wā. Ara tētihi mate kei runga I a mātou ko tōku wānau I tēnei wā ko Uncle Lawrence Max o tira e tira ake ki tōna ware ki te hāwera, ki taranaki ki te tonga I tēnei wā tonu. Tēnei uri o Ngāti Mutunga, o Ngāti Maru Haranui, o te waka tō ea nora o Ngaitai. Nō reira, koe rako tētihi o ku matua keke ara Uncle Lawrence. Ka tiko ngā mate huhua. Ngā mate kei runga I a koutou, kei runga I a tātou katoa, e koutou te hunga koe riru atu rā ki taipo nui ki taipo roa, e moira koutou katoa I te moe au ai te moe. Kia oke anora te wakaru ki tātou te kaupapa tangata, mauri ora ki tātou e te iwi. Tēnā koutou, morena kia koe, Pepe, aroha, kia ora, nau mai.
Kia ora, Tamzyn. Kia ora, morena.
Morena, e te iwi. For those of you who are joining us this morning to watch our interview, I am speaking today with my fabulous and stunning cousin. He is Ngāti Maru, Ngāti Maru, Ngāti Ruanui, Ngāti Parau. He was born in Te Hāwera, raised in Te Hāwera and Tarata. We are both pā kids from Te Upoko, Te Whenua Marae, out in our paradise in Tarata. And this is my beautiful cousin, AROHA AWARAU. So let's start our kōrero this morning. Firstly, Kei te pēhea, cuz, how are you?
Kei te pai. We're in lockdown. I'm in Tamaki. I'm in Auckland at the moment. So, yeah, we've been in lockdown for the last going on 3 months. So, we're doing it tough here in Tamaki and trying to kind of sort this COVID out. And, so I've been locked in level 3 and, trying to do my mahi throughout and balance the two. So, yeah.
Man, I couldn't even imagine how it must feel for you and for all of the people, our wānau who live in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. Do you feel a lot more fortunate in the fact that you could work from home? Or, have you been able to work from home?
Yeah, I'm quite busy. I've got a lot of writing projects on at the moment. So I'm currently working at Māori TV for a bit. I'm producing a series on Māori dames and sirs. So
awesome.
We started yesterday with Dame Naida Glavish and Sir Buck Shufford. We did filming yesterday under level 3 conditions, of course. So it's kind of not the normal way that we would film a project like this. And we're going around the motu to interview other Māori dames and sirs. And it's such a important kaupapa because a lot of them are in their 80s. So you've got people like Sir Kirita Kanawa, Sir Tiffany O'Regan, Dame Tariana Turia, so it's a really important kaupapa because, like you said, a lot of them in their 80s now, and so it's a legacy project. I see it as a legacy project to, to tell the stories of these rangatira who have achieved so much in their chosen careers and their chosen mahi through community service, through the arts, through sports, and have been honoured in the highest level for their achievements. So, it's an honour to start travelling around the country to share their stories, but also to inspire our rangatahi to, to dream and to hopefully reach those kind of goals that these sirs and dames have achieved. And so that's what I've been working on at the moment. I've also, I'm really fortunate to be working on a film, a TV series, a drama on Dame Georgina Bayer.
Yes.
So her story, and it's a drama, so it's not a documentary, it's a 6-part series. And of course, as we know, Dame Georgina, her mum was a tamati from Te Atiawa, so she, so it's a Taranaki story as well. So I've been working on
Beautiful.
that during this period, and of course Dame Georgina Byer has been a trailblazer in the trans community and just everything that she's achieved. But she started her life in Taranaki, and it's really quite amazing to be kind of a whanaunga, to be part of a team to tell her story. So I've been quite busy during this lockdown, and it's just as well because you need to keep your mind off things when you're locked inside for most of the day.
Absolutely. But how awesome. I mean, yes, I love what you're doing. The Susan Dames kaupapa is so, I think it's prevalent. It's fabulous and stunning. Good on you, cousin, for doing that one.
Yeah.
And then Dame Georgina Bai, I mean, how awesome. She, takune mohio no te whānau Bertrand anō hoki.
Oh, Bertrand as well, yes. Yeah.
Aye. And so therefore she'll be our relation because because the Bertrands were from Mount Purangi as well.
Yeah.
So they'll be, related to us and be maru. And I know she's also Ngāti Mitunga. So, so she's, I was lucky to meet her last year.
Yeah, that's the political, she mentioned that. Yeah, the panel.
Oh, true? Oh, my God.
Yeah, she did. Oh, I did mention because I saw her and I said, oh, you met my cousin. Yeah. It was very funny, yeah.
I absolutely love her. Yeah, I think she is one of the most stunning humans on this planet. I love her. Like, she's just fabulous. Please give her my best.
I will. So we've been working on it for about a year now, and it's been quite amazing. So the other writer is Rachel Lang. So she's from Outrageous Fortune. She was created of that, and Steven Zanowski's been the producer. So they've been they've been in part of TV writing for a very long time together as a team. So it's got a really great team behind it, and so it's been amazing. And like you said, because Georgina started her life in Taranaki, and just reading or researching that part of your life, it's just kind of feel a connection to that. And of course, being a whanaunga as well, it's just a connection. And once again, that's a legacy project as well, because every time you tell the people stories, whether it's be our Māori who are dames or sirs, or story like Georgina Byer, it's a responsibility. It's a huge responsibility to share these stories. So I'm quite honoured.
I'm actually stoked that you're doing it too. I couldn't be any more proud. That's so cool, cuz you do fabulous things. You know all these fabulous people. How cool is that? And for our whānau who might be watching this or just joining in right now to watch this live kōrero, this is AROHA AWARAU. He was born and raised in Te Hawera. Well, born in Te Hawera, raised in Te Hawera, and also Tarata. And we're pretty much, honestly, we are pā kids from Te Upoko, Te Whenua Marae. And I actually grew up with Pepe. And his mum, actually, my beautiful auntie Nana. It was the reason why we had Tarata Ngāti Māori kids camps. And we grew up as the pā kids at the pā. And, I think of you all the time, Pepe, and I can't help but think of you and your mum as well. And so, for those of you who are watching, we're about to talk about a very exciting project, Kaupapa. So, for those of you that don't know, Pepe is he is an amazing journalist. He's also a playwright, and he's written a play. And I can't wait to hear, a short film. I can't wait to hear about this kaupapa, cousin. Would you like to share some kōrero with us about it? It's called Disrupt.
It's called Disrupt, yeah. So, I've always been a dream of mine. I've written plays and done films before, short films, and it's always been a dream of mine to bring one of my projects home. What had stopped it in the past was, it's quite expensive to produce a play and to travel it. It's just a putia, and so I've never managed to bring it home, any plays. But this film we made, we shot the earlier this year. So Disrupt tackles the meth epidemic here in Aotearoa. It's about a grandmother who refuses to give up on her pea-addicted moko. The only one in the whānau that refuses to give up. The rest of the whānau had pretty much walked away. But this kuia is the only beacon of hope for this pia did moko. You mentioned our mums, Auntie Anna, my mum, and the main character in this film is basically inspired by the strength that we grew up with, surrounded by the aroha at tarata and in our homes. Because we know our mums were that. They were aroha. They were, no matter what, their loved ones' flaws or imperfections they had, they tautoko and supported us no matter what. So the main character, this nanny in this film, is a little bit of our mothers. So that's why it was really quite important, because it just was inspired by how we were brought up. And also it's a modern problem that a lot of our communities, not only Māori, but also the Pākehā, Del Pākehā, and other communities are going through. And so that's why I wanted to make this film. Jennifer Ward-Leland, she's a director. It's her first film as a director. So there was a lot at stake for her. And my mate Piata Melbourne, who is on Māori TV, she's the presenter for Night News, she produced it. So I really wanted to have a team that I could trust to make this film. It was very hard. Every time you make a film, whether it's a feature or short in Aotearoa, it's, you're always having to beg and hustle to get it made. There's always no money. And so we worked really hard and made a lot of sacrifices to make it. So now that it's made, it's now... we're going to release it to the world. So we did get into the New Zealand International Film Festival. It's part of the Ngā Whanaunga Best Māori and Pacific Shorts. So it's up for an award for Best Māori and Pacific Shorts. And because of that, it's travelling around Aotearoa. So it starts in Christchurch next week, and it's coming to New Plymouth at the end of November at the Event Cinemas. So going back to the fact that it's always been a dream of mine to bring one of my projects home has become, it's becoming a reality. The unfortunate part is, the irony, I suppose, is now I might not be able to come down to with the film due to our current situation being in lockdown. And so that's really unfortunate that might not happen. But, I just love the fact that it's coming. I'm bringing something home, and the opportunity for my whānau and all my friends and Taranaki that grew up with have the opportunity to go and see it and see the mahi.
I know that's like so awesome. What a dream! And I know that's been something you've wanted for so long. Now I was reading about it, and I see that it's a finalist for the Ngā Whanaunga Māori Pacifica short film competition. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so it's part of the New Zealand Film Festival. So it's the selection of films that have kaupapa Māori or kaupapa Pacifica. And it's 6 short films have made the finals. And we find out the results in Wellington. There's a ceremony in November the 20th, I think. But, I'm proud because, I'm Pacifica as well. My dad's Niuean Samoan. My grandmother, my dad's mum, was born and raised in Niue, and her mum was Samoan. So, Māori and Pacifica is definitely, this film comes from my head, so that's kind of my world, Pacifica Māori world. And so, and it's definitely the film Piata and I and Jennifer had a really, was really deliberate to ensure that this film was kaupapa Māori, and it was entrenched in authenticity. So what I mean by that is that there is reo on the film, but we were very conscious to cast actors that were native speakers.
Awesome.
Because Piata, being native speaker herself, she says that, that when you've got that trained ear and you see a film and, the Māori isn't spoken by native speakers, it's just with a trained ear, it's just a cringe moment, she would describe. So it's really important for us to have that and to ensure that the Māori that was spoken to were people who lived te ao Māori, that lived, that world. And so our main actress is Kararaina Rangiho. She's tūhoi, amazing actress. We last probably film that people saw her in was in Waru. There's a scene where she played a queer at a tangi. It was a powerful scene. So she was cast as the grandmother, and Piripi Taylor's cast as her son. And so Piripi, people would know him as he's been on Māori TV for a very long time, presenting the news. It's his first role as an actor. And although he wasn't an actor, what he brought to the film was once again was the reo, and the fact that it was quite natural for him to speak our beautiful language. And so we allowed himself and Carly, as they were playing mother and son, to improvise, so to go off script and to just talk about the pain. The scene is about how painful it's been for both of them to deal with a son, a moko, who is on P. And so that dialogue is natural. We said, don't think about it, just, speak the reo, what comes naturally, how you feel. And that's in the film, and that's one of the most beautiful moments in the film, because you can't fake that. It's authentic, and you can sense the pain of the actors as well, or the characters. They've portrayed that really well. Another thing about this film, we didn't really want to subtitle it at all.
No subtitles.
No subtitles. We wanted to normalize the reo. So it's traveling to Hawaii as well. Next week, it premieres in Hawaii and Honolulu. And so we thought, internationally, we felt the audience could understand this film because the acting's so good. No matter what they say, that what they're expressing or the feelings that they're expressing. So although they're speaking the reo and we're not subtitling it at all, they can still get a sense of what's happening on the screen. We felt that was really quite important because we wanted to once again normalize our reo, and we felt like having subtitles, it just demonstrates this is a foreign language, this is a language that we need to translate for you, and we didn't want that at all. We want it to become as natural and as organic as possible. Wow. And so, we're very conscious in infusing that tikanga, infusing that authenticity, and I think it just adds value to the film. And of course, it's a film that has an important message as well. And what we wanted to achieve, or what I wanted to achieve to write this film, is not to really offer solutions, because in life it's not an easy solution. There's no quick fix. Sometimes there's not a happy ending. So what I've shown in this film is just the degrees of pain and suffering that whānau go through. So you've got a queer that refuses to give up no matter what. You're my moko, I love you, and I'm going to remind you about how you were raised. I'm going to remind you about the whānau, about AROHA, what you came from, and hopefully that will bring you back. And then you've got another side of the whānau that have just said,
catch you up.
Yeah.
We'll catch you up.
It has been too much. So you see both sides, and it hasn't really resolved it at the end, but what I hope this film does is just start a conversation. And for people who are struggling to maybe see this situation in a dramatic form and not in a documentary, because I feel like films and drama a bit more emotive, and hopefully not only start a conversation, but make some changes in people's lives if they feel that that's what they're inspired to do after watching this film. So
wow. One of the intricate details of the film that sort of made me go, like when I read the kōrero pertaining to it, was around the fact that you didn't choose to do the film in a gang setting and in a rough gang world scenario. Not that all the gangs are rough, because some are. I have gang relations and they're beautiful people.
Yeah, it's been
love them. And but I see that with this particular film, it's not a gang setting.
No,
I decided to use it. So it feels like, this will resonate with many people, I'm sure. Is this personal to you? Like why you've decided to use,
yeah.
the queer
I felt that, yeah, it is. I felt that, you know, the most impactful, not just pee, but addiction, the most impact it has is in the home. It's more intimate, it's more personal. And I think that narratives or films, you know, gangs seem quite glamorous, you know, the gang pad and the drugs and when it comes to addiction, it's a lot more personal than that. And that's why it was deliberate once again. He was very conscious of how we chose to portray this film, to put it in a queer's home. And it's shot beautifully. That, you know, the home is a character within itself. It's actually Jennifer's great aunt. She's 90 years old. She lives alone, and we used her home, and it was just perfect because it looked like an old nanny's home.
Nanny's house.
Yeah. It was a Pākehā nanny at the time, so we had to transform it from a Pākehā nanny to a Māori nanny. So I think the set designers did an amazing job because it looks like a Māori home. But the funny thing is, so Piata and I and Kālai, our kararaina, you know, we had all the whānau on the wall, because obviously you think of the nanny's home or queer's home, it's just pictures of family everywhere. So all the whānau on the walls are mine and Piata's and Kararaina's whānau. So if you look at all the pictures, you probably might recognize. You might recognize my dad's in it. There's a picture of him in the film. Kararaina's dad's, who's John Rangiho. He's, you know, there's a picture of him in there. Piata's nanny's in there. So for us, every time we see it, it's quite funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's just a nice touch that we can see our own whānau reflected back at us in the film. But it was important to set it within the home because, like you said, it's a bit more intimate, a bit more setting, and that's the impact of addiction. You know, we also want to make a note is that it's not just a Māori problem as well. The reason why it's set in the Māori lens is because, you know, I'm a Māori writer, Māori Pacifica writer, and that's my world, and that's why it was set in Te Ao Māori. But you know, it's not a Māori problem, and I think that it has a universal appeal. And the fact that, you know, you can understand what's happening despite the fact you don't need to have video translated kind of is a testament to that and to what we've achieved. So I'm really, really proud. We're very proud of it. And like I said, we just want to start a conversation, and it's kind of my contribution to, you know, to addressing this issue that we have, not just on P, but just addiction and just in how it can tear a family apart.
Oh, yeah. I'm really quite excited, actually, to see the film for a plethora of reasons. I can resonate with this definitely, and I know that many of our, you know, just friends and family and just people will also resonate with this. And I just think it's really quite beautiful that you've decided to do this from the perspective of our queer. Wow, that to me straight away is just very, very powerful. Very powerful.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're proud of. And like that was very deliberate too, Tamzyn. I think that you will recognise those traits. You'll see my mum. You'll see Auntie Anna. You'll see our matriarchal that we raised. You'll see in that portrayal of this, because it comes from that. You know, it comes from knowing what our mums were like, and knowing that they just would never give up.
100%. And I know our mums are watching us, looking down at us from heaven and thinking, wow, look at our kids having this kōrero right now. And you're absolutely right. I was just at Tarata recently, actually, at a tangi, and your mum's on that wall and my mum's on that wall, and they're facing each other. And I think to myself, conversation. Yeah. And here you are making your contribution to an important conversation that, you know, that needs to be had in many of our communities. And I'm just extraordinarily proud. I mean, I know it's not appropriate in Te Ao Māori for relations to, you know, especially when we are one, to mihi to each other, but, you know, ka tika, kia tuku I te mihi ki tō rōpū, to everyone involved in this amazing project, my cousin. Is that your team ringing you?
No, I'll just sorry about that, cuz. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's okay. So in terms of the launch of the film here in Taranaki, are we able to head along to watch it? Or
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in. Let me just double check. I should have checked that before we started, but it is in November. I'll just get the date.
You sent it through to me.
Sorry, how's that for not being prepared?
You are prepared because you sent it through to me.
Here, let me have a look.
Oh, actually, there's a trailer on it as well. People want to head along to Te Koru Media.
So it's in November. It's at the end. I think it's the 20. Let me just have a look. I think it's the 20. Yeah, so it's the 27th of November at the Event Cinemas in Plymouth.
Oh, it's actually at the movies.
Yeah,
Oh.
the Event Cinemas, yeah.
Oh my gosh, cuz that's pretty epic. Like I thought that it was at like the TSP Showplace and there'd be a
I was going to bring a hard drive down and connect it to the TV.
Go to Sarata and put a big sheet up and then play it on the projector, you know. No, I knew that was going to be stunning, but I thought, I thought maybe TSP Showplace big screen, one screening only, and then Ka Kite Anō. It's actually going to be the movies. Oh my god!
Yeah, it's going to be at the movies. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to get out of Auckland, Tamaki, to come down, and I definitely will if the borders open. So fingers crossed. That
awesome. Fabulous. Thank you so much, cousin, for your time today. I'm excited about every single thing that you're involved in, all your projects, the Māori Nights and Dames, the drama series about Georgina Baia, and this beautiful film called Disrupt. How appropriate and how timely as well. I'm really looking forward to it all. I will post some links here to Whānau in the comment section so that you can check it out, and you can just click on the links. There's also a little trailer, as I understand it, cousin, if we check out Te Koru Media on Facebook. So head to Te Koru Media here to Whānau. But other than that, cousin, you take care. And I look forward. Would you like to say anything to our whānau?
I just want to I'll say hi to my dad. You know, he's at Waitara. And all my whānau and Taranaki throughout the motu. And hopefully everyone's keeping safe and during these times. And I'll hope to see everyone on the 27th at the movies. I'll get the popcorn.
That'll be so cool, my cousin. And I'll see your dad too. I'll give your dad your love as well. Love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you, cousin. E te whānau, take care. And thank you to our manawhiri this morning, AROHA AWARAU. Ngā mihi kia koutou.
Ngā mihi.